What I've got for you today is the longest tournament game on Blackburn LE that I could find now that this map has been around for about a week and a half or so. This is a match from the most recent ESL Open Cup, and I figured it goes really well with the theme that I've got going on the channel right now as well. The one where I'm trying to feature, you know, more players than just the top 12 or so. So spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner, and by the way, I'll show you around the map in just a second, because this map is definitely a little bit different than the ones that we've gotten used to over the last year or so. Playing with the blue Protoss probes from Poland, we have none other than Gerald. His opponent in the opposite... Oh, actually, no. I see, I'm autopiloting already! This map is vertically mirrored, Loco. Jeez. Playing with the red Terran SCVs from Mexico. In the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have SpeCial. And actually... yeah, these guys are actually teammates. I didn't quite realize that. Anyways, our Protoss player here, he is, as of me making this video, according to Aligalek, considered to be the number 42 in the world. And he's currently also 22 years old. So definitely one of those Protoss players you want to keep an eye out on, because he's actually one of the highest ranked ones on the European server. And yet, I don't think I've actually ever featured him on the channel before, which really is a shame, because he's super good. I mean, I've covered SpeCial plenty in the past, right? So I'm assuming most of you are familiar with him. One of the highest ranked non-Korean Terran players, for sure. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's have a look at this map. So I just know that this map, by the way, or this game rather, is a bit of a longer one. I hope that we're going to be able to see some of the unique map features as well. So let me zoom out, right? So first off, natural expansion, right? And the main base looking pretty normal. However, from there, you have the option to either expand towards the left in this particular case if you're a Terran player, or you can expand forward to get closer to your opponent's side of the map. Now, like I already said, this map is vertically mirrored, meaning that they like drew a line through the center of the map and then flipped it, right? Now, it turns out that with that, the rush distance from main to main is rather quick, so you can get to the other side of the map relatively easily. However, they've made it so that apparently you can't just rush flying units very easily, because there are these slowing zones set up on either sides of the main as well, which is pretty cool. On top of that, even though you can relatively easily take 1, 2, 3, 4, and by the way, this is a gold base that's attackable from the back, 5, 6 bases for both of the players relatively easily, the 7th base is either going to be at the 6 o'clock position, or it's going to be at the 12 o'clock position. And obviously, since this map is vertically mirrored, these are going to be very easily contested. So the one, for example, at the 6 o'clock does have a couple of rocks right here that I think make it a little bit better for the Terran player to acquire, because you might be able to like make a command center and then float it over here and then morph it into a planetary. And by the time your opponent kills the rocks, you could probably finish it already up. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be seeing any of that in this particular game, but I'm hoping that we're going to see at least some of those features coming into play as well. Just like the gold base already being so easily accessible is a bit strange, right? So there's 6 mineral patches over here, meaning that this base actually mines as much as like a regular 8-patch blue base. It's just that it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be easier to saturate. You won't have, or you won't need rather, as many workers in order to saturate it. He's gonna commit with the Adept right now, apparently, inside of the Terran's natural expansion. The Terran already built a bunker, as you can see as well. Oh. Inside of the mineral line there, which is a bit of a nuisance. Why did you not just like send those 2 probes over there? why be so stubborn and still mine these? I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, doesn't really matter all too much. It looks like we're gonna have a blink opener right here from our Protoss player, and there's already a robo facility right now coming up as a follow-up as well. I'm really hyping up the map here. I hope we're gonna be seeing like, my wish, okay, is to like have one of the players take this base and then see the other guy like harassing it from the back, and then maybe like the 6 o'clock take it or something along those lines, right? That would be kind of cool, because that's something we don't normally see. So I think, like, a lot of people say that the map design in StarCraft 2 is a little bit boring, and the reason for that is that StarCraft 2 is a really hard game as it is, so making it a lot more complex, most pro gamers will just end up vetoing the maps if, you know, they end up being really strange. A little bit of a Hellion run by, okay. Yeah, they can get in pretty easily, right? So you can see right there that that slowing circle does extend towards like the edges of the main, but you could fly around it relatively easily. So this is like a hot drop location. 4 probes right there for 3 Hellions. Not necessarily the best trade right here, but at the very least, both players are keeping a bit of pressure on each other. I don't think there's any watchtowers on this map. By the way, one thing that I haven't brought up yet, I found out about this myself in my own games. So say, right, you expand vertically, right? So you take this base and that base. Well, I guess you get given this base. You take that base, you take that base, and then you go for the gold base, which is like a natural progression. There's this weird moment where these rocks over here really become a pain in the butt, and I'm speaking from experience. It turns out when you take this gold base and you don't knock down the rocks in time, siege tanks on the high ground are pretty much impossible to stop. I can tell you that from experience because it's painful. Also, when I did my initial impressions of the map, I thought maybe that there were like holes between the minerals here for like small units to run through, but it turns out that's not actually the case. Even though I feel like a Zergling or a Marine or a Zealot should be able to squeeze through that, apparently it's not. What is going on here? Whoa, what are they doing to the Ultralisk? Ay, ay, ay. Anyways, Stalkers managed to blink into the main base. Since the main base is rather big, yeah, he's just waiting right now for the blink cooldown to once again be available. I kind of like this. All right, there we go. Uses a blink to get into the mineral line right away. There is one siege tank, but it's quite far back. At the same time, there is a Banshee over in the natural of our Protoss player. I think that this one will be deflected. Question is, how many of these Stalkers will end up going down? Okay, they can just make a loop around the base, apparently. Yeah, this is looking quite good. I mean, the Banshee now also picks up 5 kills. I don't think that's really supposed to happen when you do go for a Blink Stalker opener like this, but these were some adventurous Stalkers, man. And they're not done yet. Alright. Yeah, I was wondering why the main base on this map is so big. I think that the guy that made this map, or the girl, or whoever, probably plays Terran, because my theory is, right, that he thought, okay, I'm gonna build a command center over here and then fly it over there, right? It has to be a Terran player, because why did this map just get cut off, like not just get cut off right over here? Why did it have like this massive nuke? Anyways, I guess it's kind of neat. I didn't really consider that Protoss was gonna be able to jump into the main base and then wait for the blink cooldown to come up again. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so a couple of smaller features on this map that definitely do make it a bit different. Yeah, in the end, I think that Banshee got a little bit too much damage done, to be honest, considering that's just one Banshee. I think it was just one. Yeah, it's just one Banshee. Yeah, it's not really supposed to be the case. Alright. Now, the nice thing, of course, when you go for that blink opener is that you can poke and prod really nicely. So, once again, we see the Observer right now moving forward. Well, there is a Raven available too. Okay, so that does mean that it will be picked up. That's nice. There's a lot of siege tanks actually here for special already. Yeah, he's got 4. Since there's no third command center here, and he's just been happily macroing off of 3 barracks, 1 factory, and then 1 starport, I think he's ready to go for a push. I do not mind this idea at all. It's definitely a very strong one, especially with the Raven into the mix. The interference matrix can, well, shut down things like the Colossus, right? So Gerald's defense right here is mostly just gonna be it's mostly just gonna be with the Colossus. And if you can disable the both of them, right? There's gonna be a third one in a second, but if you can shut all of those down, that Raven is obviously gonna be absolutely monstrous. He's gonna go for a slow push. Yeah, I did bring a couple of SCVs as well. At this point, I think if you're a Protoss player, you're a little bit sad that you don't have a... Yep. I think you're a little bit sad that there's no Warp Prism out. So what SpeCial is gonna do here is go for the slowest push possible. There's the interference matrix on at least one of these, okay. He decides to stim forward. I was gonna say, maybe he wants to wait until all of those structures are done. Battery overcharge has already been forced. We did obviously see the stim pack as well. Marauders want to get a little bit adventurous. Maybe they can use their concussive shells on a stray unit, but it's not going to happen. 4th Nexus, though, has already been acquired, so I like that by our Protoss player. SpeCial's now going to start up building his 3rd CC on spot. This means that SpeCial needs to deal damage, by the way. So these missile turrets are going to take some time to finish up. They can hit the Colossus, by the way, which is quite nice. They can deal a lot of damage. Alright, he's even going to build a supply depot over here. Look at this. He brought so many SCVs. There's already a disruptor here on the high ground as well. Eventually, the Protoss here is going to have to fight this, right? Like, he can't really just sit back here and, well, I mean, wait for the Terran player to overwhelm him. That static... Like, those structures that he's building, that static defense as well, it's super, super potent. Look at this. He's just slow pushing. This is the slowest of slow pushes you can go for. He's got 85 army supply, the Terran that is, versus 81 of the Protoss player. I do like the Protoss player's army quite a bit, but if the siege tanks obviously are sieged up, this is going to be super difficult to actually break. I'm impressed he decided to go for the 4th base. I think he's going to have to commit here in just a second, though. All right, disruptors. Trying to get some work done. Nice. Grabs 2 tanks. That's massive. Yeah. Obviously, that's just a cooldown-based ability, right? So you can keep using it whenever it's available. But this is apparently the moment where Special decides to use the Stimpak button. It's going to force Gerald right here to move forward as well. Disruptors will have the Purification Novas up again in a second. One of the Colossi already got picked up. I think the second one actually, yeah, also ended up going down as well. That Purification Nova is not going to be able to connect. All of the Vikings are gone, but at this point, they don't really serve much of a purpose anymore anyway, because all of the Colossi already are down too. Marines right now run into the base. All right, battery overcharge there in the natural expansion as well. Quite nice. One of the siege tanks there gets picked off. Additional reinforcements now available for the Protoss player, though. I think he might be able, yeah, with those additional zealots, to just barely break out of that. That was dicey. That was very close. That could have gone horribly in favor of the Terran player there. All right. Nice. So now all of a sudden, if we look at this, right, 4th base has been acquired. Apparently there's going to be a probe train heading on over in that direction. They are going to be gobbling up those juicy golden minerals very quickly. So the golden minerals, by the way, in case you're unfamiliar, basically a regular mineral field mines for 5 minerals a trip, and these mine for 7 minerals a trip. So yeah, there's 6 patches available rather than 8. So it comes out to about the same amount of income. It just requires less workers to fully saturate. Alrighty. So this is a fantastic position right now for our Protoss player to be in. Is Special out of this game at this point? No. I mean, obviously he's, yeah, he wanted to do a little bit more damage there than he did, but he still ended up killing all of the big units there of our Protoss player, which is always nice. It does take forever to build. And he's going to be able to, at the very least now, start macroing off of 3 bases. I'm quite impressed, though, that our Protoss there decided to go for the 4th base and now already the 5th as well. Alrighty. Heavy macro-style Protoss. I like it. The Terran army, though, does still certainly pack a punch. Oh, good pickup there. Nice pickup. Very nice pickup. Ooh, one of the medevacs runs dangerously low, but will barely stay alive. Also, on this map, and this is something that I haven't really experienced myself, but you can go to, like, this bit relatively easily by either knocking down the rocks, obviously, over here, but you can also move through the center or from that high ground. I really think that these rocks need to be destroyed, man. Maybe this is just my my experience on this map kicking in, but oh my, like, it's a pain. Imagine siege tanks up there and you just can't break it. Like, how are you gonna pull that off? Zealots right now moving in from the top. They're ready to harass a 4th base, but that one hasn't even been acquired yet. It's only about halfway done building at this point, which yeah, just kind of secures this situation as well for the Protoss, right? He's looking at this like, nah, I don't really... What are they doing to Ultralisks, man? Hold up! There's a couple Hydras over there, too? I know there's a Terran versus Protoss going on right now, but what are they doing to my boys? I'm looking for more Ultralisk torture. Okay, hold up. I know there's a battle going on. Purification Novas didn't connect. Zealots die. Okay. The quest continues. Are we like on a flying platform or something? I think we are. This is kind of cool, isn't it? Alright, Protoss apparently exploding right now as far as the production goes. He's getting Storm as well. Dark Templar are available. Getting himself some additional upgrades too. Wouldn't even mind seeing a second forge here. Anyways. Ooh. You see the dudes right there flying in the background? This map is really gorgeous, by the way. Like, not only is the layout really interesting, you can see that it's very refined, right? You can see there's a lot of doodads and things moving around, and it's... Yeah, it's all cohesive. It's all very cohesive, so it's not like it's... You know, it doesn't fit with the genre of the map. It looks cool. Planetary Fortress is not finished morphing in yet, so that does mean that I think 7 SCVs will end up going down. At the same time, though, Medivacs have unloaded their units in the top right-hand corner. Zealots are apparently supposed to deal with that. There's still actually a couple of units over there. At the same time, we did see a push forward there as well by our Protoss player, but I think he lost a little bit more than I probably was hoping for. Is the Nexus gonna fall? I think it will. Nicely done right there by the hit squad. Not bad at all. Do you not just drop a couple units over here? Am I crazy? Like, why does no one do this? Like I said, I've played a bunch of games on this map so far myself, and no one does it. Can you not just, like, drop a couple units over here and just harass that base and there's, like, nothing you can do about it? I think I'm missing, by the way, a couple Purification Novas. I'm sorry. The Ultralisk hunt was important, okay? Not bad. Would you look at that? The Shadow Stride ability. Being researched right now. Triple Medivac, though, heading on over in that direction. Yep. Once again, dodges those slowing circles. There it is. Okay, this is what I was talking about, man. This is going to be super obnoxious. I love this. While the Protoss player is out on the map being super busy posturing and stuff, he's not actually getting a whole lot done. Dark Templar over here will be revealed as well by the scan there, so the orbital command comes into play too. Looks like the Zealots ended up cleaning all of that up, so that's a bit unfortunate. Another storm will probably soften up enough of this as well. There you go. To force those medivacs to leave, but still a cool situation. Yeah. All right. So SpeCial making the best of this. Yes, it's still 4 base versus 5 base, right? New base has been retaken right here by our Protoss, but it's not awful. He's got a load of tanks as well. Yeah, he's up to 11 siege tanks. You can't fight that. No, there's no way you're gonna fight that. Whew. By the way, can I blow someone's mind just now for just a second? If I turn off the progress bar there for a second. You see the Dark Shrine? It's 3 Dark Templar heads at the top of it. Their eyes are glowing. That blew my mind when I found this out about a half year ago. Anyways, actually maybe longer than that. Here we have a big push though. Apparently Protoss once again. Yeah, he's trying to go through, but it's like SpeCial is inviting him here, right? Look at this welcoming committee of siege tanks. There's so many of them. You can't break that with a ground army, man. Like, you gotta need a whole lot of siege tanks charging there. That's insane. Welcome to our base. Please take a seat. Just kidding, you're dead. Ooh, okay, nice. Triple Stargate, by the way, as a follow-up. I already saw the +1 flyer upgrade coming up as well, so I think that this is gonna be a carrier transition from our Protoss player, which I do not mind at all. There's a lot of Stalkers in the top left-hand corner, but apparently SpeCial's like, wait a second. That army you've got, it's kind of small. Let me see if I can potentially poke forward. This army over here as well. Okay, he sniffed out that something was not quite right. 12 o'clock base, though, is going to be acquired here. What a cool map, right? Isn't this nice? Like, as a fan of StarCraft, look at this. The golden mineral patches are running out, and it's creating another opening, right? Like, more maneuvering around the map. So early on, this map is super choky and very difficult to maneuver, but now that everything has, you know, been cleared out, well, at least most of the rocks have been cleared out, yeah, it becomes wide open. It's cool. I really like this. I mean, maybe not to play on, but to cast on for sure. 15 Zealots, by the way, being warped in all at once. 15. It's a lot of gateways. It's like the Legacy of the Void cinematic. You know, with the Archon, like, power overwhelming, and then it kills an Immortal. Or, sorry, an Ultralisk. Well, apparently this is the moment, though, where Gerald has decided this is where I'm gonna make my stand. I want to fight this right now. A couple of siege tanks busy in the back, trying to siege up. Not really getting, yeah, a whole lot of damage in until, like, halfway through that battle. And that was not a bad fight. But still, pretty expensive one, right? I mean, once more, look at this. The Zealot warfare is crazy. I think you fight this, man. I think you try and chase this. Yeah, Zealots with charge are really, really quick. Ooh, the slow zones are so slow. Well, that's kind of why they're called slow zones, huh? Do you not just counterattack? Go, 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 go. I think you go. Do you go? Ah, still 2 tanks in the medivac. Ah, maybe. This little nuke over here is difficult for the Zealots to charge into as well. This one, though, is covered by a planetary, so... Yeah, Terran's super resilient, right? It's difficult to get in there. Look at this, by the way. Carrier Disruptor Zealot with Dark Templar. I love it, not gonna lie. I'm a fan. Now the Ghosts have been added into the mix as well. Ghosts, of course, have a wonderful ability called EMP. I don't know what it stands for. Electronic... Magnetic... Pulse. I'm gonna look it up. What does it stand for? EMP StarCraft 2. Wait, what? I got it right! EMP is short for electromagnetic pulse? I knew it once upon a time, but I didn't think I was actually gonna get it right. Alright. Dude, I'm so smart. Someone in the comment section is gonna think I looked this up in advance just to, like, you know, make myself sound clever. I probably just knew at some point, and I forgot that I knew. But my mind still remembered, dude. Isn't that amazing? A lot of Protoss supply at this point, by the way, is caught up in units that aren't here. So carriers, they're big. There you go. This is a good, healthy chunk of supply there for our Protoss player, so... Gotta take these armies with a grain of salt. Yeah, this Terran army still does not mess around. Good dodging right there on those Purification Novas as well. Right now, though, the gold has been acquired, right? Which is really good. Terran players benefit from these quite a lot because most of their bio-based armies, at the very least, are very... Oh, Storm! Oh! Yes! Oh, that's hot. Most of their armies are very mineral-heavy. That is so cool, actually, dude. Nice. Terrans, generally speaking, like that quite a bit. Alright. Now, interceptor ships can be gunned down very easily by Marines. So there's a bit of a weird dynamic between these tier 3 capital ships and these tier 1 units. I know it upsets many of you on the BattleNet forums, for example. It's one of the complaints that I saw. That being said, they can still be super helpful because if you have plentiful numbers, you can occupy a lot of that firing time, right? So, yeah, SpeCial's looking really strong here. Despite the fact that he's been far behind for quite some time. And he's still playing catch-up, I believe. There's no denying that, yeah, he's looking dangerous. Those upgrades really help him out right here as well. If he would have delayed those, I think it would have been a disaster. Storm not really getting a whole lot done there. I don't think he knows about... No, he does know about... Oh, okay. He does know about the 12 o'clock base. He's just not going after it. A couple of Zealots apparently have charged forward over here. Okay, that one will get picked off. Still though, oh, a couple of the carriers will be sniped. That's 2 carriers going down the drain. They definitely need these upgrades to really be useful. And even though there's an eco lead right now for our Protoss, he doesn't have as many mineral patches to mine from anymore because he's starting to run out. He's just now required another base there, so I think that's going to come in very handy. Now, this time around, though, siege tanks all on siege. This is the moment where Protoss decides to strike. Is there going to be enough for him to break through right now? Still quite a lot of carriers available, and I don't know if there's going to be enough anti-air. A couple of Thors now also joined the fray here for the Terran player. Thors have an ability called High Impact Damage, or High Impact Mode, and they will gun down those carriers real quickly, yeah. Nice micro right there, though, and I think the Zealots right now charging forward as well does mean that there will be enough here for our Protoss player to eventually close this out. If you go back just a second, just a little bit before the ending of this particular game, you'll be able to see here that our Terran player doesn't really have a whole lot of longevity anymore in any of these bases. He's essentially running off of like 2-ish base economy, and then upon losing all of this army, he would just end up dying right here from the counter attack. Yep. Cool fight. Really cool game. Definitely not something that we see every single day. Yeah, so at this point, the warpins and the follow-up units here for Protoss would just be a little bit too much, and SpeCial decides to tap out. I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. If you did, hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. Let me know what your thoughts are, by the way, on this particular map down below in the comment section. I gotta say, so far, I'm really liking it. I mean, like I said, maybe not for playing on, but definitely for casting. Imagine if this is gonna be like map 7 in a tournament grand finals, because I can imagine a lot of Protoss players and Terran players and Zerg players out there will probably not be too fond of playing this map in a best of 3 or a best of 5. I mean, maybe, we'll see. It's not like, it doesn't seem like it's heavily favored in I don't know. I don't know what the win rates are like. I can have a quick peek, actually. All right, so the sample sizes for this are rather low, okay? But for Terran versus Zerg, there have been 10 games played on this map so far at the professional level, and 80% of them were Terran wins. Zerg versus Protoss, 43% of them were Zerg wins, and Protoss versus Terran, 33% of those were Protoss wins. However, it's literally like in total 33 games that have been played on this map so far at the pro level. So I think the sample size is a little bit too low, but at least the initial impressions seem to show that this is a pretty good map for Terran. Anyways, hope you enjoyed watching this video. Like I said, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I hope to see you once again tomorrow for another one.